Alright, ready? Let's do this little talk about how we feel about things. Are you set? Okay. Hi! Welcome to my tube. My name's Marge. I'm a Hill empath, and this is Tuck. He's a lemon beagle. I just like to have little talks about how I feel about things. And Tuck, he gets deep in his emotions too. Sometimes his emotions get as deep as the oceans. He came from a puppy mill, so he gets scared sometimes. A lot less than he used to. When I first got him, he was like 6 months old. He has a little pig butt tail, little pigtail, because the freaking keeper of the puppy mill slammed it in a gate and it broke it in 2 places, so it zigzagged. So Tucker gets away with more than the other dogs do. Yeah, he does. Benny, they all have their stuff. See, they just have they have the spirit, just like we have spirits. All animals have spirits, and they have personalities. Even a rock has an energy feel. You know, I've collected rocks since I was a little kid. There's a pretty cool one out in the yard. It's huge. It's a big old rock. But I was like, man, what made it do that? You know, that's a cool part about going to places and being places that you've never been before. It's because you learn about stuff you've never seen before. You know, a lot of things are the same. A lot of places are the same. Desert's pretty much desert. Then again, desert close to the equator is different than desert farther from the equator. But anyway, to me, a lot of terrain looks the same. I could say that I think it's fair to say that I've traveled a lot. I've seen a lot of places. I've always been a driver, so when I like to drive, so when I go and visit places, I explore the places that I visit. Go try and find the places that the locals hang out and stuff, and really learn about things. It's what life to me is all about. And the higher you vibe, that kind of sets course of a trajectory of your life of what could potentially be very wondrous things. So, I was just listening to Joni Patri. She's a Vedic astrologer. And her take on things. I like to listen to a lot of people about how they feel about stuff, especially when they track the stars and things like that. It's not predicting the future, because nobody can predict. Predicting things is weird. Sometimes I get an idea of how things could go, and sometimes, like on a roulette wheel, it lands on what I thought that happened to be true. You know, I try not to think about the course of any one timeline, any one way things are, because there's so many potentials and there's so many variables. Things are likely to change at an instant. So, things are going to get weird. I've been saying that for like 3 years. And it's been, kind of continually getting weirder. It's been getting weirder, huh? Why are you growling? Are you growling at yourself? That's you. What's the matter? What's the matter? Why did you in here? It's okay. Like I was saying, is that Benny at the door? I better see if that's Benny at the door. Is your brother at the door and he's already annoying you? He was sleeping like a curled up little... No, he's sleeping. He's sleeping out there. Benny's sleeping at Grandma's house. That's what we call... He's on the futon with Grandma, so we call that sleeping at Grandma's house. Anyway, where was I? So, the way things that play out, if you know people that are making predictions and stuff like that, you might want to hang out with different people. Because I think that people can foresee the future and make things happen. I mean, look at I just listened to freaking Zach's stories. I missed him last night. He came on. It was late. I was already asleep because I kept looking. I'm like, man, I thought he would have come on live. But when I woke up, it was like he came on. It was like 11:21. I'm like, dude, yeah, I'll catch you later, man. But I freaking, because he puts the codes together. And I started looking up stuff. I started dabbling. I just don't want to do it too much because I can get weird kid fixed on stuff, and I don't got time to spend my days freaking looking up stuff, and it's just a piece of the puzzle. It's just a piece of the puzzle, and astrology's another piece. All it comes down to ultimately is like, do people have the consciousness to make things good for everybody that they live amongst, or is it just for them? Because we're fine. I get job notifications from different places because life's a mirage. You know what's funny about that? Welcome to my tube. Life's a mirage because my name is Margie, and Margie is mirage all mixed up. Isn't that cool? Thanks for hanging out for a while. I hope I'm trying to get people to stay more. See, that's the thing is I'm a Heyoka and I'm a contrarian. So in any group, I'm gonna look at the loopholes and look at the things that are different. So I don't go along much with mainstream a lot, and sometimes my beliefs really ruffle the feathers of the mainstream, the main vein. Yeah. So it's I don't try to instigate people. I don't try to instigate and make people feel. I really try to be mindful and speak in a general way. Sometimes I get carried away. My ego, because I think about my whole life experience, and I think about the percentage of the population of the people that were involved in the group that made life difficult for me. Not just me, but for a lot of people that didn't deserve their life to be made difficult just because somebody has the power and the authority. It is so weird what people do for power and authority. And money, property, prestige. Mom and I were talking about that earlier. I was just like, because I was going to the market this morning, and I go the back roads. Every town I've ever lived in, I've always gone through the neighborhoods and the back roads. Just an old man at heart, but I'll never have a surgery. Anyway, so I get it from my grandpa. So so I'm going through the back roads, and I see a new development, and they're just cookie cutter, crappy, But the developers will say they used all, but it's just the markup is insane on this shit. And I'm like, who in Teos, New Mexico, is going to? How many of those units do they actually think they're? Because they're probably going to rent anywhere from $1,300 to $1,600 a month. I'm guessing for 1-2 bedrooms, and nothing special. So how many of those? Because there's people that work at the grocery store here that live an hour away. So it's just really interesting. And then they sit empty, and I'm just like, there's I'm getting all fired up again because it's all the frickin'. There's this the German. There's something German. I just saw a couple of little excerpts that he did. He's out there in Los Angeles, the city of Los Angeles, because they take people's spirits and souls, and that's all that just the soul sacks kind of navigating through life. The majority. Some soulful beings out there, but a lot of corruption. A lot of people sold their soul a long time ago. Anyway, 6,000 homeless people in a 52 square block. Zach said it's a 56 square block. Skid Row. But who knows for sure. And I'm not going to go count. So, but anyway, that's a lot of freaking people living in tents and stuff like that. It's a lot of people when there's so... And then I was watching that Nomad. There's a show on the Hulu, Nomad. And it was up for one of those awards. And everyone knows what those award shows are. There's more clubs and stuff. Just weird stuff. Weird with their rituals and their idolizing false for profits and stuff like that. Anyway, that Nomad, you know, I could really identify with that. I've kind of been a nomad this last year with me and Mom and the dogs. Not having a place to go and having to go. You know what I think? And that's what the whole time I was just like, I just need to keep a roof over our head. I know because I know that this is just going to be a long, hard winter. We're not done. The weather's not over yet. It's just going to alchemize from one, you know, ice and snow. Now we're going to get the thaw and the floods and the mud and the, you know, from the consequence of the fires and things like that. And it's not just here, it's all over the world. And see, and the thing is more stuff is going to happen, and then the freaking powers that be are going to continue not to help people, and the cracks of society are going to continue to get wider, is how I see it. And then there's going to be freaking, all over the world, there's going to be pockets of people going, no, we don't want it like this no more. We want a better way. Because the planets and the stars are lined up how they were back in 1962. You know? Freaking no more bombs, dude. We should be... This is like... It's totally predictable. It's a complete joke at this point. I mean, it's just... Come on. It's just... Everybody knows. I did get to see some promising stuff this morning. I'm happy to report on the way to the market also. When I got to the market, they didn't have signs everywhere. They did have a sign because I didn't know in the liquor aisle that says you can't buy booze from like midnight on Saturday until midnight on Sunday. I was like, that reminded me of when I was in Texas, and Texas was dry on Sundays. You couldn't buy alcohol on but I was in the Air Force, so it didn't matter because I was on base, and you could buy it whenever. That it didn't count on base because that's the biggest, baddest club there is, don't you know? And they can do. They always find their ways around. I had some good times in Texaco, Wichita Falls. I was in basic training, and then I was in Wichita Falls for 6 months. And oh god, that's a long Texaco. That sucked. I did get to go stand out in a storm and experience 90-mile-an-hour winds. See, I came into this incarnation knowing, just my spirit, my soul, my being just knew that it just wants to experience everything it possibly can. I haven't experienced a lot of the like family stuff, the unconditional love, all that stuff. Yeah, that I get from TV shows. Anyway, like I was talking about the Nomad movie, I could identify with that, and I'm just like, you know, I don't want to wander around. That's a hard life. It is. It gets lonely. I know all my thoughts. I'd really like to learn some of other people's, you know. It's just such a trip how everything got so wicked and evil. And people are, you know, this whole spiritual, people are waking up to spirit, you know, whatever that means to them, because it could mean it's autonomous as far as I'm concerned. It's a personal experience, what spirits people open themselves up to. And a lot of people open themselves up to really dark, evil, wicked spirits, and then they serve those spirits. They like to do the things that honor those spirits, and those things are, you just don't hurt people. It's plain and simple. You don't harm people. You don't harm animals. You don't scare things. It's not fun to, it's not cute and exciting, I think that's why Hollywood keeps making these scary movies and putting all the crap out, because then they know how to entice the people that they can recruit into their nefariousness. Anyway, so it was cold today in northern New Mexico. It's very cold. I didn't like it. It's supposed to be warming up. We're almost at 60. But, oh, you're getting busy? You're just mad about it? So, anyway, I was thinking about taking up sewing. I keep talking about it. It's going to start getting warm, so I'm going to want to work outside more. But I guess it gets kind of hot here. I don't know how hot here yet. It's my first spring here and summer. So, if it gets too hot, I'll probably, maybe sewing is something I can do, And it's, everything I made is made by a Native American. Anyway, so, I was like, well, what could I make, And I was like, well, I thought about making quilts. And like this quilt that I have here, this quilt is freaking sick. See, because I never had a quilt. This is actually Mom's quilt. This isn't even my quilt, but she lets me use it. But this quilt, I should show, like tomorrow, I'll show people this quilt. This quilt, and I've never really looked at quilts. I just was like, it's something that personal that people always got. But this quilt, because like some of them are double, like have like this square this way and this way. And the cool thing about this quilt to me, it's like an heirloom. And there's like one square I see that's worn and stuff, and it's just like, oh no, at what point do you put it in a Ziploc bag and don't use it and retire it, But this quilt, it was made by a woman named Opal Fox. Now, if you're ever in Northern California, and I really, really am just praying, God, universe, and heaven, all over wherever you are, hear my prayer. And he counts as 2 or more gathered. Luna's over here and Artie's down there, so it all counts. And the Shasta Dam opens up again, and people go on the tour of Shasta Dam, right? It is a cool thing to do. We got to, growing up in Northern California, man, the 3 Shastas, Shasta Dam, Shasta Lake, Mount Shasta, very spiritual place. Anyway, so Opal Fox was a woman. She was the first woman to work on the crew in the construction of the Shasta Dam. They show a video at the end of the tour. I actually have that video on VHS. It took me some doing, but I'm pretty good at researching. And probably about, I don't know, 10 years ago, I tracked it down, got it from Mom for Mother's Day, because Mom was friends with her. See, they got to be pretty close. When Opal passed on, she got this, and I got that tape so she could still hear, hear her voice and talk. I don't have a VHS, but it's still there, But that's pretty cool, How you come across I've always been attracted to these really strong women in my history. Their history to me, they're historical figures to me, That's kind of a big deal back then. So, anyway, so sewing, I was thinking about things of, things that could serve people in the winter, because I could just make them and then hand them out to people wherever I see them, See, and all that stuff comes back to me. See, I like doing stuff for free, and then people just freaking pay me whatever they want. And it's been quite lucrative, frankly. I mean, my karma, people have matched my energy. Whoa. So, anyway, what else? I'm scoping out. It's getting warm, so I'm excited about putting in a little yard. I want to put in a little yard so I can just open the door and let the critters out. Just go outside, where I don't have to walk them out one at a time on the leash. I considered letting them just like roam, but there's too many there's cats, and there's this one, I call it Pet Cemetery. That thing is freaking gnarly, dude. It's on its last life, I think, man. Anyway, it looks like the cat from Pet Cemetery. I didn't even watch that movie, but I remember seeing like a scene with the cat. I think it was cheesy and corny, but anyway, I don't want them freaking. And because that fugly cat came walking at me and Luna one day, and I was like, oh no, come on girl, we'll go this way. Anyway, I keep picturing it in my mind of like where to put the fencing and stuff like that, because there's like fence out there already. I want to put my sunning chair out there, and then maybe Stanley can't come out. I'm not at this place. Not this place, unless I make a catio. Anyway. So, things are pretty good. That was nice. Oh, and when I was coming back from the store, the churches were open. The churches were open. And I don't know how long the church has been open, but I don't think they've been open very long. So at Albertsons, the grocery store, the signs and everything, they didn't have all that stuff. The 6 feet apart crap and all that shit. And signs to put masks on. They didn't have any signs telling people to put a mask on anywhere. So, I don't know. I guess I could go to the state site and see what the local, if they've been. See, that's the thing that is so annoying to me. I have my airman's manual from freaking 2000, okay? And all this crap is the same stuff that they made us exercise and do. And play, pretend, like, what if this happened? It's all freaking head games. And a lot of people are mental minis. Mental minis. And they freaking just, did with it. Because I could... That's why people that are like, they didn't try to keep me in and do, re-enlist. They really didn't. Because I'm like, this is stupid. This is bullshit. This is dumb. Because I went in the military looking for guidance and directions. And I was hoping and counting on the fact that there was policies and procedures and standards and regulations. And then when I went in and I was like, this is the biggest fucking bros club. And it is the most wasteful, fraudulent, freaking puddle of waste and abusers. And I can't have anything to do with this more than 6. My conscience won't allow it. It won't. I have to endorse what I support, and I don't support freaking letting people sign their name on a dotted line to serve whoever and what. And put themselves in harm's way, and then come back a shell of a human being after they do things that they never thought they would do. It's a gross, vicious machine, and it just needs to come to it. It just, it's just, I'm tired of what it does to people. Every day I get tired because of what it did to me. They gave me 6 vaccines for anthrax in 3 months. 6. They're already up to 2, and they just approved a 3rd. I'm just like, dude, that stuff that's like they go under the kitchen sink, grab a bunch of crap, because they don't care what it does. They don't know what the long-term effects are. See? Because when I had mine, it was 15 years ago. Now it's like my joints and my shoulders are deteriorating. Probably from the formaldehyde that they store it in. That's what that burn is. Why it hurts for a day or two. That's formaldehyde. They store it in all the vaccines in it. They store it. Like what? How long is its shelf life without formaldehyde? But then you got to think about, who gets to profit from formaldehyde going in everything, and Formaldehyde, there's studies that indicate that it freaking breaks down people's endocrine system and has been known to cause ALS. So, are they trying to make the ice bucket challenge come back again? Because, man, that pumped a lot of money into that system real quick, but still no cure. It's just so weird what people think is true and what they follow. It's just weird to me what this earth turned into with all the marketing. I mean, have people not ever heard of Orson Welles? Is that what? No, not Orson Welles. Not Orson Welles. I misspoke. Hold on. William Randolph Hearst. There was a movie that's why I get it confused. William Randolph Hearst. Now, I know about William Randolph Hearst because my father's side all grew up about, I don't know, real close to Hearst Castle, if anybody's ever heard of Hearst Castle. My mom had a boyfriend. He worked on the frickin' grounds there. He's an American businessman, newspaper publisher, and politician, known for developing the nation's largest newspaper chain and media company, Hearst Communications. His flamboyant methods of yellow... This is just from Wikipedia. And I know that they provided a lot of crap information, but for the sake of what now? Okay, it's fine. His flamboyant methods of yellow journalism influenced the nation's popular media by emphasizing sensationalism and human interest stories. Hearst entered the publishing business in 1887 with Mitchell Trubitt after being given control of the San Francisco Examiner by his wealthy father. And Senator George Hearst. See, it's like they're all freaking trust fund kids, man. Don't let trust fund kids do big important things, because this is the world we get. Anyway, and it's weird because, like, his history was so... Oh, he was elected as a Democrat to the U.S. House of Representatives, too. Now I hear Benny. Ugh. Come on, go over here. Go over there. Don't butter tuck. Go on. Keep it moving. Don't stop. Go on over there. No, you can go over here. Luna's okay. No, she's not going to get you. Come on, let her by. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. No. Oh, and then Artie's under the other one. Artie, you going to get down? Artie, you going to come down? Come on. Come on, Artie. You going to come down? Okay? You get too hot. You get too hot. Huh? You go? Okay. Alright. We're cool. Everybody's cool. William Randolph Hearst. Anyway, it's just been a puppet game the whole time. And if you would ever see, because now it's just like a state park and stuff, you know, but it's just like, dude, this guy like used to live here, you know, and he got all this stuff from all over the world. And every time I always thought, oh, it's probably hush money for something. It's probably hush money. Lots of weird shit happened in Morro Bay. That's why Mom escaped us up to Redding. But then lots of weird shit happened in Redding. I'm just like, dude, what is it that these people have created these worlds for themselves where they don't think anything bad happens ever, you know? I just saw too much bad stuff happen. And now more and more people are starting to come to the realizations that, oh shit, man, people are really freaking imbalanced. Like that story about the dude in frickin' Oklahoma, I was like, shit, that's the state right next to me. Holy cow. Dude frickin' thought that his neighbor had evil spirits in her, so he freaking killed her and freaking cut up her heart and served it with potatoes to his family because he thought that she had evil spirits. And it's like, that's the thing, is evil. It's like the evil in that man was reflecting it in her and was projecting it on her, kind of a thing is how I see it. And I'm like, that's why, like, when people see me, like, when I was, those people, like, they saged us all the time in Arizona, like, they thought we were just, like, the slum of the earth. Like, they treated us very poorly. And it was weird. Like, would sage us, you know, and, like the one girl, she even said, I felt like you brought an evil spirit with you from Oregon. And I was like, oh, well, considering that I prayed the whole way here, you know, it's really weird that one would latch on to me when I did all this stuff to release any negative energy where I was, kind of, you know, and then yet they admitted that there's just spirits all over this property. But it was me. I'm just, whatever, dude. Whatever. I mean, whatever. And then they're like, oh, you have this dark energy. I'm like, yeah, I'm fucking living in a room with 4 dogs and my mom with some couple of assholes. Kind of puts me in a bad mood, but I'm going to go ahead and try and live in gratitude instead. You know? Because they just wanted to freaking, you know, make things uncomfortable as they could and then threaten me. You know, just freaking sucky people, dude. There's a lot of sucky people out there. Because they feel bad, so they want everybody else to be like them and feel bad too, you know? And I will never be a freaking 50-year-old chick freaking some fucking STD that freaking divorcee. That won't ever be me. You know? So, I have an education. I've had life experience, you know? So when people like to put me in a box, it just makes me laugh. I'll sit in your little box until I get the fuck away from you, and then you know. Because I can't be mean. That's the thing. That is one of my life lessons in this because people have always been mean to me, so I had to learn how to defend myself and stick up for myself. And I got to come to a place where I can be kind and loving even when other people are being mean and wicked. I got to stay in my clown. You know? I can't be wicked. I can't. I was. I'm good at it. That's the thing. I'm good at it, but just because I can do something is no reason for me to do it. So I have to do whatever I can to not. Because I'm witty and I'm clever. And I have a lot of frame of reference, so I can clown people and they don't even know I'm clowning them. And that's no way to be. That's bad karma. So I gotta stay in my... That's not how God wants me to act. And I hid behind my hurt for a long time. I hid. And I hid behind my anger, and I hid behind my sarcasm. I still can. I want to get to a place where I don't. But we're all just spirits having a human experience. But some of these human experiences are very, very uncomfortable. And a lot of other people, they don't have a whole lot of broad spectrum of experience. They really don't. A lot of people, it's like, they grow up, I mean, how many people grow up in the same town? They've experienced every season, or lack thereof. You know, every cycle around the sun, every birthday, you know. Even their vacations, they go to the same places. They might stay in a different hotel, but you're still, you know. But it's to each his own, and a lot of people, their astrology has a lot to do with, you know, the places they go, want to go, or don't. You know. There was a time that I wanted to do, like, I get on Instagram. I follow Elvin Kelch, the Alaskan frontier people show on, I don't know. I don't know what show it is. Anyway, he built a 50-ton press, and I'm like, dude, that's all I want. Is just I want to have like a little small place for me, mom, and the dogs, and then have a shop where I can do all my shop stuff and invent and create and stuff like. And he built a 50-ton press, and I was just like, it was so cool because they freaking put a can of soda in it, and it just. It's just, and it's just like I love Mythbusters and that kind of stuff. Crap. And I just want to be able to be, keep an eye on her, and then stay close to home, and then sell whatever. Well, that's terrible. Looks like my freaking. There we go. That's a little bit. But I'm gonna wrap this up soon. Mom already went to bed. She didn't even have any ice cream tonight. I totally forgot what I was thinking. I can't remember what I was talking about. Oh, the bathroom lights were still on. Oh, my shop. And then just like making my dog beds and stuff like that. And then making sure mom's got her stuff, And then maybe having enough space where travelers can come and camp. Or maybe have an extra room where they can come, crash out or like, if you have an RV, pull up, plug in for the night, whatever. Stuff like that. Hang out, exchange stories, It was kind of, I cried a lot when I watched that Nomad movie on the Hulu, because I could identify, never just ever finding a place. I knew mom had her stroke when I was 15, but when we were kids, she never identified really as our mom. She was always more of our guide, kind of thing. We had a lot of scary experiences and stuff too. I talk about in other talks, and enough so that my brother doesn't really have a relationship with us, and that's fine. He's missing out on her today. It does make me sad about I got nieces that I'd like to be closer to, and if I think too much about it, I can start getting weepy about being states away. You think technology would get us closer? Maybe they get it. I keep trying to. I keep sending them pictures and stuff and letting them know I love them, because I don't want to. I have a piece of shit aunt that didn't give a crap about me, and I don't want to. I don't want to be one of those. I don't want them to ever wonder if I love them. So I'd be sure to tell them every few days how much I do. That's why I'm always that corny person that just says the weird stuff out of nowhere, because I don't ever want people to wonder how I ever felt. But a lot of people aren't real big on emotions and feelings and stuff like that, because they feel good. As much as things feel good at sometimes, those good feelings oftentimes, people later feel sad. But I'm like, why would you tell yourself to feel sad? Like when people die and stuff, dude, they're everywhere. And they're always alive as soon as you bring them up. They will be summoned. Your energies will be summoned, And the world is changing. I think it's changing for the better, but I gotta let it too. I'm kind of dip. I'm a person that, like, when there's water, I will jump in, right? But it's like touching my toe in to feel, and it's cold as fuck. But gotta jump in. I was watching that Isabel chick. That chick freaking, there's snow on the ground and she's like swimming in the creek, and I'm like, I think about, I can't do that. I think I would go into shock. Because when like today, it was cold, and I had my last failed relationship. She would always, when I lived in Nebraska, she'd always tell me, because we'd go outside to smoke, back when I smoked cigarettes or something, go outside to smoke, she would smoke, and I'd just go outside, and I'd just be like, and she's just like, relax. It's the resistance that is causing you more discomfort. Just relax. And I was trying to get myself to relax because the resistance was causing me discomfort. And I was just like, this is fucking stupid, man. It's cold, but and I think about people. I probably would, especially if there's a hot spring around that you could like jump in the cold water and then get in the hot kind of thing. But I don't know. That's also kind of how people get sick too. But anyway, things are good. Things are good. Mom's happy. Mom's happy. Washed her feet the other day. And that's the thing. When it's cold, she doesn't let me do nothing. I get to brush her hair. But I don't know. So she's never been my mom. My care. My it was never that there. I don't know. I don't know. But we have a good relationship now, and it's just sometimes it gets kind of hard because, we get to new levels of things. Because when she had her stroke at 38, her neurologist told me then that that part of her brain that was damaged from her stroke is just going to continue to deteriorate. I'm just happy that she is just a happy, because a lot of people when things deteriorate, they get mad and sour. That's why I'm always giving her choices. I give her choices all day long. All day long. Food, mostly. But, or you want the window open, you want it closed. I'm constantly giving choices because it gives their mind, things to enjoy, makes people feel good when they get to pick how they want to live. So, mostly she just watches Longmire. 6 seasons. And I still see parts I haven't ever seen before. But you know what the cool part about it is? This is how God works in mysterious and beautiful ways. And I need to not question it. Anyway, is that she's been watching this pretty regular last couple of years. It started because it was on Netflix, and every time I'd watch, and she'd want, there are times that she'd watch something different, like Grey's Anatomy, or but usually every time I ask her what she want to watch, she just always say Longmire. So I've got rid of Netflix and just bought the seasons on DVD. Which is better because it sucked because I only have a 2-hour window. Unless she was feeling frisky and would hit the start button. But sometimes she doesn't because on the disc I get a 2.5, 3-hour window because some of them have 3 episodes on them. Some of them have, the last season has 5, so I could that's wow. But anyway, sometimes I'll come back and it will have ended, and I'm like, shit, how long is she? And she's just sitting in the chair, I hate that stuff. That's why I don't like ever leaving her alone. I don't. And she's fine. She would never complain about a thing, but I'm just like, dude, that's, that ain't cool. So, that's her, and she has all the dogs to keep her company and stuff, too. That's still not cool. So, it hasn't been easy, but it's been worth it. But anyway, Longmire. And lo and behold, we end up in the state where Longmire was made. It wasn't made in Wyoming. It took place in Wyoming, but it was actually made here in New Mexico, and that's pretty rare. So mom's she's constantly, Marge, the mountains, they look like the ones right out here. I'm getting long because my voice is tired, but Marge, they look like, I'm like, Mom, they probably are, Mom, they probably are. So that's pretty rad. So, and the sunsets was pretty, we just watch them in the evening, from one window to the next, watch the colors, and she really likes to engage in that. And that's, then when the days wrap up and I get to ask her, Mom, do you have a good day? And she tells me, yeah. Alright. Then it's better than me going to freaking some corporate America bullshit 9 to 5 job where I'm gonna wonder if she's okay all day. You know? How she's doing. So, life changes, but you know what? The gifts that you and the grace that you find in these changes, if you're open to it and don't resist it and just allow it, they're really quite marvelous. That's what I got for now. Hope you have a rad day. Peace.